Journey to the West, an audio drama series. Chapter 29, Part 1. We speak of Bajie and Sha Monk who fought the monster for up to 30 rounds without producing a victor. Do you know why they could not bring about a result? If you are only taking their powers into account, then speak not of these two monks. Even if you had 20 of them, they would not stand a chance against that monster spirit. It was all because the Tang monk was not meant to die here that all the divine guardians acted as his protection. In the air, there were also the 6 gods of the ordinal Ding, 6 gods of the ordinal Jia, guardians of the 5 quarters, 4 chroniclers of time, along with the 18 divine protectors of the monastery assisting Bajie and Sha Monk. We speak not of how the 3 engaged in their battle, but instead talk about how the elder was bitterly wailing in the cave, missing his disciples. With tears in his eyes, he cried, "Oh, Wu Neng, I do not know in which village you found a kind friend and engorged on vegetarian offerings. Oh, Wu Jing, I also do not know where you will find him and how we can reunite. Do you even know that I have come across monsters and have been suffering here? When will I see you again so we can put this ordeal behind us and hurry towards the Spirit Mountain?" Just as he was wailing in agony, from inside the cave out walked a woman. She leaned on the soul-settling pillar and asked, "Elder, where are you from? Why did he tie you up here?" The elder heard her words before stealing a glance with his teary eyes. The woman looked around 30. And so he said, "Madam Bodhisattva, there is no need to ask. I am destined to die, and that's why I walked into your doors. Eat me as you will. What is the point of asking?" The woman answered, "I'm not one of them who eats humans. My home is down west from here, about 300 li or so away. There is a city there named Baoxiangguo, the precious elephant kingdom. I am the 3rd princess of the king in that kingdom. My childhood name is Bai Hua Xiu." Here, Bai means 100, Hua means flower, and Xiu means shame. The name can be interpreted as putting hundreds of flowers to shame, which is an indirect way to compliment the girl's beauty. She continued, 13 years ago, on the 15th night of the 8th month, I was in the middle of appreciating the full moon when, in a violent gust, a monster snatched me away to this cave. We have been husband and wife for 13 years now, with children in tow. Not a word has been sent back to the royal court since that time. I miss my parents but cannot see them. Where are you from? How did he capture you?" The Tang monk answered, "This humble cleric is a scripture seeker sent to the West Heaven. Unexpectedly, my idle steps have brought me to this place by mistake. They now plan to capture my 2 disciples so we can all be steamed together for food." Smiling, the princess said, "Relax, elder. If you are here to seek scriptures, I will be able to save you. The precious elephant kingdom is on the main road westward. Please deliver a letter on my behalf to my parents. I will tell him to spare you." Nodding, Sanzang said, "Madam Bodhisattva, if you do manage to save the life of this humble cleric, I am willing to act as messenger and deliver your letter." Hurrying back inside, the princess quickly wrote down a letter for home and had it tightly sealed. She then headed to the pillar and untied the Tang monk before handing him the letter. Freed, the Tang monk held the letter in his hands and said, "Madam Bodhisattva, thank you for saving my life. After this humble cleric leaves, when I pass by your respected kingdom, I will certainly deliver this letter to the king. I only fear that as such a long time has passed, your parents will not acknowledge that this is from you. What shall I do then? They must not blame this humble cleric for lying." The princess said, "Do not worry. My king father has no son, just myself and my 2 sisters. If they see this letter, they must be willing to read it." Safely tucking the letter inside his sleeve, Sanzang thanked the princess and headed for the outside. The princess clutched him and said, "You cannot leave from the front gate. Those imps big and small are all waving flags, beating drums, and banging on gongs in support of the great king's fight against your disciples. You should head for the back door instead. Should the great king capture you, there will still be an interrogation. If a small imp took you, They will, without discretion, harm your life. Allow me to go in front of him and make my case. If the great king does release you, just wait until your disciples receive the instructions so that they can find you and leave together in one piece." Sanzang heard her words and kowtowed. Following her guidance, he bid farewell to the princess and hid himself outside the back gate. He dared not move around on his own, so he took shelter in patches of thistles and thorns. We go back to the princess, who hurried to the front with a brilliant plan in mind. When she came out of the gate, she had the group of imps move over to the sides before hearing wild jangles of weapons. It turned out to be Bajie, Sha-monk, and the monster fiercely fighting in mid-air. In a loud voice, the princess shouted, "Yellow Robe, my dear!" The monster heard the princess calling, so he left Bajie and Sha-monk before descending from his cloud. Putting away his steel broadsword, he held the princess in his hand and asked, "What is the matter, wife?" The princess said, "Oh, my darling, I was just asleep inside my silk drapes when suddenly in my dreams I encountered a deity in golden armor." The monster asked, "Which deity in golden armor? What is he doing in my place?" The princess answered, "When I was young, I secretly made a vow in the palace to the gods. I said that if I could find a virtuous man as my husband, I will head up renowned mountains and visit immortal residences to feed monks and give offering. Ever since I married you, we've been living such a happy life together, and I never thought to bring this up. But now the deity in golden armor is coming to demand I fulfill my vow." With a shout, I woke and realized it was just a dream. That is why I quickly tidied myself up to come tell you, darling. I did not expect to see a monk tied to the pillar. I pray you have mercy, darling, for my small sake. Spare the monk. This will be treated as if I fed a monk to fulfill the vow. I wonder if you would agree to that, my dear." The monster said, "Darling, how very sensitive you are. How important is this matter, really? If I want to eat a human, where couldn't I find a few to eat? A few monks like that will not be missed. Just let him go." The princess said, "My dear, let's have him head out from the back door." The monster said, "Why the fuss? Just let him go. What's the matter if it is the front door or the back door?" He then seized his steel broadsword and shouted, "Zhu Bajie, come over here. I am not ending this fight because I am afraid of you, but for the sake of my dear wife, I have spared your master. Quickly head to the back door and find him so you can head west. Should you intrude the border of my realm, I will certainly not let you get away again." Bajie and Sha-monk heard that and felt as if they had just been let go at the gates of hell. Hastily, they pulled the horse and grabbed the luggage before running away like rats. Turning their way to the outside of Wavy Moon Cave's back door, they called, "Master!" The elder recognized their voices, so he responded amidst the thistles. Sha-monk cut open a path in the grass and helped his master frantically mount the horse. And so, with Bajie heading their way and Sha-monk following behind, they made it out of the pine forest and went on the main road. Look at the two of them bickering and complaining about each other while Sanzang could only attempt to conciliate. As the evening approached, they had to find lodging soon. When the rooster crowed, the first thing was to look up into the skies. Some long and some short, they made one journey after another, and without realizing, they have covered 299 li. Looking up, they suddenly found a fine city in sight. That was the precious Elephant Kingdom, and what a fine place it was. Even though it was a long distance away, the prosperity reminded the elder very much of Great Tang. Distant mountains and flowing streams were the backdrop of fertile fields. A solid city it was, whose residents were secure in lives of peace and content. Royal halls were grand where officials lined, while refined music flew out of numerous palaces. Bustling were the streets where the well-dressed traveled, for this place certainly rivaled the scenes back home. They could barely take in all the scenery of precious Elephant Kingdom before the three of them gathered their belongings and resided in an official lodge with the horse. Walking to the entrance of the gate, the elder told the official of entrance etiquette the following. "Present is a monk from Tang Dynasty seeking an audience with the throne. I need to have my formal documents certified. Please inform the throne of my request." The custodian of the Yellow Gate hurried to the White Jade Steps and reported, "Your Majesty, a distinguished monk from Tang Dynasty is seeking an audience with you to certify his formal documents." The king heard that he came from the superior nation of Tang Dynasty and was a distinguished monk, so he was very pleased. Immediately consenting the request, he said, "Summon him inside." And so Sanzang was summoned before the golden steps as he performed the formalities in front of the throne. Officials, both civil and military, standing on the sides, all exclaimed, "What a man from the superior land! What impressive and exquisite manners!" The king asked, "Elder, what has brought you into our kingdom?" Sanzang answered, "This humble monk is a Buddhist from Tang Dynasty. I bear the imperial edict of my emperor which sent me westward for scriptures. I have come with formal documents which should be certified when I arrive at your majesty's respected nation. That is why I so rudely made my way here and disturbed your royal presence." The king said, "Since you have formal documents from Tang Dynasty, bring them over for us to see." With both hands, Sanzang carried the documents forward and unfolded them on the imperial desk. The documents detail the ordeal Tang Taizong went through with the dead Dragon King, and how he took a trip through hell which resulted in sending a monk on this trip. The document ended with the following, quote, "We have specifically instructed Reverend Xuanzang to cross 1,000 mountains to seek scriptures. Should he arrive at the nations in the West Territories, please do not discourage the charitable cause and let him pass through according to this document. To whom this document concerns. Great Tang, 13th year of Zhenguan, on an auspicious day in autumn. Document given by His Majesty." Unquote. On the document there was also the mark of 9 treasure seals. The king read it before taking out his own jade seal and signing the document in cursive. He then handed it back to Sanzang. Sanzang thanked his favor, put away the documents, and reported, "This humble cleric came first to certify my documents, and second, to deliver a family letter to your majesty." Overjoyed, the king asked, "What letter?" Sanzang answered, "Your majesty's 3rd princess was snatched by a monster named Yellow Robe from the wavy moon cave of Concave Bull Mountain. By chance this humble cleric met her and therefore came to deliver this letter." The king heard this as tears fell from his eyes. He said, "Ever since the princess went missing 13 years ago, we lost count of how many civil and military officials we demoted, and how many maids and eunuchs we beat to death in and out of the palace. All we could come up with was that she left the royal palace, lost her way, and could not be found. We interrogated countless residents across the city, and not a trace was found. Who could have known that a monster snatched her away? Suddenly hearing your words just now was why we cried such sorrowful tears." Sanzang then took out the letter from his sleeve and handed it over. The king received it and saw 2 characters on it. 平安. It means safe and sound, and people often write this word on envelopes to indicate nothing extreme has happened. The king's hands became shaky and could not open the letter, and so he summoned the leading imperial scholar to the hall to read the letter. The scholar soon arrived, as all the officials in the hall, along with the concubines and palace maids behind them, listened intently. He then opened up the letter and read it aloud. The letter went as follows. Quote, "O virtuous sovereign father, ye king of great imperial halls, thy disgraceful unfilial daughter Bai Hua Xiu before thee kowtows 100 times, and before my queen mother of 3 palaces, as well as all the wise officials of the court. This humble daughter of thy court hast been fortunately blessed to be born into thy royal palace. For this I am deeply grateful for the countless acts of care and labor undertaken on my behalf. I fear that I am unable to act in a manner according to my upbringing, to bring pleasure to thy faces, or devote my heart to filial piety. 13 years ago, on the 15th day of the 8th month, thanks to our King Father's gracious edict, all the palaces held banquets to marvel at the beauty of the moon. It was a fine night and a joyous time, a grand occasion where all could enjoy a fair evening. While in the moment of our joy as we delighted, a gust of fragrant wind arrived without warning. Thus appeared a monster king with golden eyes, a blue face, and green hair. It captured thy daughter before riding away on auspicious light. He carried me into the depth of a wild mountain where no one lived, and it was impossible to tell where I was. Forcefully the monster took me and made me his wife. Against my will I suffered for 13 years, having given birth even to 2 monster children, all descendants of a monster spirit. To even bring such a matter before thine ears is an insult, a true corruption of human decency, and a violation of common morality. In sending this letter I bring further disgrace. However, I fear that when thy daughter dies, no one will know what clearly took place. In grief I yearned from mine parents when unexpectedly the divine monk of Tang dynasty was also captured by the monster king. It was thy daughter who tearfully wrote this letter and gathered the courage to free the monk. I entreated him to deliver this piece of paper on my behalf and convey my humble wishes. Prostrating before thee, I beg for your mercy, O King Father. Please send a noble general to capture the Yellow Road monster at the Wavy Moon Cave of Concave Bone Mountain, so that thy daughter may be saved and return to court. I am deeply grateful in my heart. Pardon my lack of courtesy, as this letter was written in haste. What is lacking shall be shown in person. Thy disgraced and wayward daughter, Bai Hua Xiu, kowtows, and kowtows again. Unquote.